Here's the truth. You can tap into your own intuition, and when you do, you are unstoppable. Stay tuned and let's dive into this.
What would your life be like if you were finally able to unlock the key to manifesting the life of your dreams? If you're ready to transform your life by mastering the art of manifestation, then stay tuned. The Manifestation Society Show with Allison Carver is just for you.
Welcome to the Manifestation Society Show with Allison Carver, where every week we showcase the most brilliant female powerhouses and their amazing manifestation stories. This talk show is meant to inspire you. I want you to know that you can do this too. You can easily manifest your best life using all of these tricks and techniques. I'm your host, Allison Carver, and I can't wait to take you on this journey. Before I introduce you to today's guest, let me share with you the affirmation of the day. I am fully guided by the universe. Repeat this to yourself and know that this is true. You are guided by the universe. You have everything you need already inside you. You just have to trust it and be open to the messages that it gives you and know that you are on the right path. Welcome the brilliant Hannah Kuhary. She is a professional psychic medium and astrologer. We are in for a special treat. Thank you, Hannah, so much for joining us. So how is it going today?
It's great. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be on your show today. We are enjoying a really beautiful spring day here in the Midwest. I live in Kansas City, and there's just a freshness to this time of year that is always really exciting. So I'm feeling really good.
Oh, Hannah, you're so right. I love this time of year. It's just such a fresh start and new beginnings. And it just reminds me of all that's blossoming outside, right? Like, I just feel like this is such a magical time of year.
It is, absolutely. And in my community or my neck of the woods, especially with astrology, from the astrology perspective, this is Aries season where we are planting the seeds of intention of what we want to grow throughout the year. This is all about, like you said, fresh starts, thinking about what we want to manifest as we move ahead with a more energized perspective of our life and what we want to accomplish.
Can you share more about what it is that you do? Break it down for us so that we can learn more about what this exciting business is.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, I am a professional psychic medium and also an astrologer. So I get to work between worlds with my clients. And one thing that I'm really, really passionate about is helping my clients clarify their intuitive voice. So how they can connect with their own intuition, their higher selves, as well as their spirit guides and sacred team. And also using the cosmic wisdom of the planets, of astrology, to also help understand who they are, what their gifts are, clarify their purpose and mission in life, and how they can move forward with a more depth of personal power.
Wow, that is a lot. Do you find that your audience, they are able to easily tap into their own intuition, or is that a skill that they have to develop over time?
That's a great question and something that I get asked about this a lot. And the truth is everybody has intuition. This isn't a gift that is blessed to the few. We all have the ability to tap into these higher levels of knowledge and wisdom within us. I think sometimes some of us are just more attuned to hearing that voice within us. Whereas for other people, if they tend to come or approach decisions or making choices in their life purely from a more logical or analytical perspective, it can be really difficult sometimes then to decipher what the difference is between this higher wisdom and actually making a logical choice. So it is something that can be cultivated and developed. It's, like I said, it is innate to all of us, and it's something I love getting to work one-on-one on with my clients.
So you're saying we all have this ability, right? We were all naturally born with this ability to tap in this intuition. Yeah. So how do we tap into it?
So that's a big question. And I truly could probably speak on this topic for hours because there are so many different ways. And just as the realm of business and life is so personal to each of us, the way that we receive that information is also very individual. And that's something that I seek to really clarify in my work with my clients, that I don't want them to feel that just because I receive information through my dreams or through meditation, that is the way that they also have to receive their intuitive guidance. There's so many different ways to tap into that higher wisdom. Of course, meditation is one way to do it, and it's beautiful, and it's something that's been done for, millennia. Writing, any kind of creative work that really gets you back into your physical body and out of the analytical and logical mind can also be really, really helpful. Getting out in nature, taking a walk, working with your environment and just the actual land around you can be really inspiring as well. Physical movement like yoga. For some people, it could be running. I hear a lot from my clients who are runners that they talk about getting into that natural rhythm of their body. It gets them almost in that meditative state where they can release a lot of the noise and chatter that goes on in their mind and around them, and really come into this place of solitude and stillness within them. So there's so many different ways to get into that receptive state where you can more finally hear that intuitive nature, that intuitive voice within you. And it just takes a little bit of play. It really does kind of take some trial and error to figure out what is going to be the best way for you. But I think that that's also what is so fun about getting to do this work and diving more in depth into your own spiritual journey. So
I love how it's so unique for each person, because I think that takes the pressure off. I'm sure for a lot of people, they feel like they have to fit into this little box and make it this way. Well, this is how she does it, so I have to do it this way. But I love how it's so fluid and it's so personal to all of us. That speaks to me, Hannah, because I know for me, spirituality is so personal, right? Your own manifestation journey is so personal that I love how tapping into your own intuition is also really personal. So that really spoke to me. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, absolutely.
How would you say tapping into your intuition connects to manifestation?
When we talk about tapping into our intuition, using our intuitive language, our intuitive voice, to me, what that means is we are excluding a lot of the distractions and dampening the noise kind of outside of us. That could be other people's perceptions, what other people want for us. It's really coming home to ourselves and clarifying, what is it that I want, that I truly want? What is going to light me up? What is going to give me that sense of success or passion or fulfillment in my life versus what does someone else want for me? So I think that piece about clarifying our intuitive voice and those messages is a big piece when it comes to manifesting what we want in the world. Because what you want, Allison, is totally different than what I want, and vice versa. And I'm sure that we can both think about times in our lives where we've had some kind of external influence that has made us think, this is what I should want, or this is what success should look like for me, when in reality, that could be something completely different. So I think in terms of intuition, when we can get very, very clear on what is my inner voice, what does that sound like for me, that can help us become more clear then in what we're calling in from the universe and bringing forward or attracting to us within our own life.
It's really all about getting crystal clear and knowing what it is that you want in your own voice to be able to manifest. That's incredible. I'm not sure I've ever heard anybody explain it like that. And I love, like I said, that personal connection. And it just takes all the pressure off. We don't have to say, okay, I'm going to manifest $5 million to this super successful business. It could really be, I want to manifest a happy life. I want to manifest a happy family. I love that connection.
I think you really hit the nail on the head there, that of course, wealth is something that a lot of us attain and we want, and we attribute that to success. But truly, someone's greatest dream could be to have children if that's something that they've struggled with. Maybe to manifest a beautiful home if that's something they didn't have when they were younger. It could be physical health, having a healthy body, something that I think a lot of us take for granted, that could be the ultimate manifestation for someone else. A supportive partner, a loving partner. Again, I hear this a lot from my clients. They're looking for that soulmate connection. Those are the types of things that people are manifesting in their life. So it is very personal. And when we can get very specific and clear about what it is that we want and keep that away from any other kinds of distractions, I think that really helps us get more in alignment of how we can draw that towards us.
What kind of distractions would you say most of us get distracted by?
The biggest one that I see is what other people perceive that you should have. So what we think that other people want for us. So that could be success, what I thought success was before I actually came into a business where I felt super aligned with what I was doing. Because maybe for some people, having $1 million is the ultimate form of success. And so you think growing up, okay, well, I'm never going to be successful if I don't achieve $1 million status, when in reality, that's not true at all. So it is breaking away from those sorts of distractions, those perceptions that other people have placed upon us, those societal expectations as well that maybe are outdated, or cultural expectations. It can also be truly what we think would please other people. So, maybe what you're thinking you want is truly maybe what your spouse wants or what your parents want, when deep down inside you don't really have an interest in whatever it is that they want for you. So it's getting very clear on what makes you happy, what lights you up, what makes you feel the most connected to that authentic part of yourself, and letting that be what guides you instead of the other noise and distraction in various parts of your life.
I love that, because I feel like what you're saying is that your intuition is a roadmap. It can lead you exactly to what you want, right? If you listen to it and if you weed out all of those distractions.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of putting it, that your intuition is a roadmap, but also leaving room for any spontaneous opportunities that might jump in. Relationships, keeping a path that is, of course, in the direction that you want to go, but also being open to what the universe might place along that path that could be even better than what you've imagined or expected.
Yes. How do you know your intuition is actually talking to you? Like, let's say you're outside, you're going for a walk, or you're doing a meditation. How do I know what I'm listening for?
The biggest piece of advice or framework that I give to my clients when they're trying to decipher whether this is truly their intuition speaking to them or if this is just an idea floating through their mind is listen for, is there judgment attached to whatever thought is coming in? If there is judgment that's coming along and saying, you shouldn't be doing this, if it brings you to a lower state of being or feeling, if it puts you at a lower vibration or puts someone else below you, that's all judgment that's coming from an egoic place, right? Something from our ego. Versus intuition is always going to speak to the highest parts of yourself. It will always leave you feeling uplifted. It will leave you feeling inspired, hopeful, able, and supported. So those are really the key things that you want to, be thinking about if you're someone that questions, oh, is this my intuition speaking to me, or is just this a thought? Also tune into how your body is responding. When your intuition is speaking to you from a truly authentic place, you will feel an expansion somewhere in your body energetically. Maybe that's within your heart. Maybe you feel truly my heart is speaking to me. Maybe your body just feels light and energized and passionate or excited. Your intuition is going to help you see the larger perspective. What's really going on here? What do I need to know to feel good about where I'm going, or to feel empowered to make the shifts, the changes, or the decisions in my life that may not be easy, but I know are going to be for my greatest good?
Whoa, that's amazing that we are all born with this capacity inside of us. That's really, truly remarkable. And what a gift we've been given, that God gave us this gift to be able to connect with Him and to connect with Source and to just be guided to what's best for us. That just gets me all excited, because I love how you broke down the difference between the ego and the higher self. Could you share a little bit more about that? How do we stay connected to our highest self? I'm sure that's a big question, but I would love to hear how you can explain that for my viewers.
So when we're talking about the highest self, it is truly the manifestation of our soul. So it's connecting with the most profound version of ourself that is always available to us, always guiding us. Okay, it's not like we have to ask them to come in. They're already within us and guiding us. But to feel like you're more connected with that part of yourself on a day-to-day basis, I love journaling. Journaling to me is one of those practices, again, available to everybody. It takes so little. And if you are someone that feels like you need to have some assistance there are lots of guided meditation or journaling prompts that can help you with that. It can be as simple as doing a gratitude practice, writing down maybe 3 things in the morning or in the evening that you feel really grateful for. And it doesn't have to be, these really cliche topics. Maybe you're grateful that you got the laundry done. Maybe you're grateful that you were able
I'm always grateful for that.
Yeah, same, because it doesn't happen very often.
No.
But it can be those really simple things that were challenging for you that you feel proud of. It could also be that you're grateful for your sense of honesty, that you didn't get to everything that you wanted to do today, but you recognize that you can do it tomorrow. Gratitude isn't just bypassing and pretending that life is always rainbows and butterflies. Gratitude can also acknowledge the parts of ourselves that we struggle with. And when we're talking about connecting to the higher self, it is the whole self. It is not just the light parts of ourself. It is the parts of ourself that seek to truly understand why we're here, what we're learning in this lifetime, and through our own challenges, how that brings meaning to our life. So I find for myself that I feel the most connected to my highest self when I'm outdoors, when I'm in nature. And I just get this really grounded sense of both in my physical body, but also attuned to the environment around me. There's just this sense of humbleness that comes with being outdoors. And that could be just a walk around my neighborhood. It could be an actual hike, camping. I really find that there is a powerful energy exchange that happens when we are outdoors in the presence of something greater than ourselves. It gives us that perspective of what is going on in my life. How am I feeling right now? What do I need to either address or acknowledge that maybe I've been suppressing? Or what do I need to really feel into a little bit more? Allowing ourselves, again, to get connected to these higher perspectives and higher energies. So getting outside, I think, is really, really crucial. At least putting your feet in the grass for a few minutes a day if you can. If you have children, playing outside with them, or maybe taking your pet for a walk. Again, to just immerse yourself in that beautiful energy that the earth so freely gives us is really helpful to maintaining and deepening that connection to our higher selves.
I am definitely, I'm sure this comes as no surprise, I'm definitely not a camper by any stretch, but I love being outside. And I've always loved being outside ever since I was a kid. I always feel so much better, just like you said, fuller, happier, more joyful, all of the things. And I never really put two and two together until I started my own spiritual path and journey and discovering this stuff. And I'm like, yes, I do feel better when I'm outside. Yes, my husband and I do have better talks when we're outside. It's not a coincidence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think having that just shift in environment into a more open environment can make you feel more at ease. I know when I get really triggered by something or mad or frustrated, and I know that I'm, really tense or, energetically charged, I go outside and just sit on my front stoop for a couple of minutes, allowing the earth to just do her thing for me, transmuting some of that anger, giving me the space to feel my feels, but also to see that bigger perspective of like, okay, so how am I feeling in this moment and what's going on around me, despite the fact that like I'm having a temper tantrum, right?
Hannah, I have to know, how did you get into this line of work?
That's the $1 million question. I've always been very energetically sensitive, picking up on things around me that I can't see, but I can definitely feel. And that's kind of influenced most of my life. My career actually started after college working in advertising and public relations. Not something that I loved doing, but felt like that was where I was supposed to go. And then later I left public relations and advertising and started a professional makeup artistry business that I have done professionally for 10 years. And what I loved most about being a makeup artist was working one-on-one with people and viewing this transformation process of seeing someone look at themselves in the mirror and see themselves with a fresh pair of eyes, seeing that moment of clarity for them. And when I was a new mother, I really struggled with anxiety. And during this time that I was also building my makeup artistry business, I started down the path of meditation to help me feel more grounded, to feel more clear about being a new mom, being a business owner, what I'm supposed to be doing here. And through meditation, everything in terms of my intuition, my psychic abilities, my mediumship just opened up and flourished. And I surrendered to it. And I feel so aligned with what I'm doing. And I love it.
So how did you make the transition from all these different careers changes into what you're doing now?
Yeah, it unfolded quite organically for me. When I really committed to developing my intuitive gifts, my psychic abilities, and my mediumship, I sought a mentor, which was incredibly helpful for me. I also had this deep intuitive knowing that things were just going to kind of work out. This also happened about 6 months prior to COVID. And as we all know, our lives kind of shifted upside down once the pandemic hit. And so my makeup artistry business really took a hit when weddings were being shut down, productions for TV was getting shut down. I didn't have work. And I really leaned into my spiritual journey and practicing giving readings to my friends and my family. And it just kind of built from there.
Listening to you talk, it just feels like this was all meant to be. Like this was the path you were meant to be on. But let me ask you this, did you have any resistance, whether it was internal resistance, or did your family or friends say anything to you that made you feel like, oh, maybe this isn't the right time?
Yes, I would say I had more internal resistance than anything. It's quite funny that you ask that, because when I really stepped up and claimed this business by putting together a website and getting a logo and doing all of those kind of official business duties, my friends and family were like, of course, this seems natural for you. No one's shocked or surprised here. But it was really more a reflection of myself, of things that I had held myself to that were no longer a reflection of who I had become, and letting go of kind of these outdated versions of myself, these outdated belief structures of what I thought success was, what I thought a career had to look like, doing things my own way and feeling empowered to do that versus doing it the way that someone else had taught me to do it. So the resistance really came from me versus other people, which I'm very grateful for in some ways, because I had this beautiful community and of course the family structure that welcomed and encouraged me and supported me. But it really was just pushing myself to get to that level of feeling equally excited and honoring also this transition that I had made for myself.
So Hannah, what would you say to somebody who has maybe these gifts or has experienced some of the things you mentioned, but isn't quite sure what to do next? What would you say to that type of person?
Well, I would advise them to, first of all, keep an open mind, right? I think sometimes fear can take control, and that's when we start to lead down the path of, oh, what is this? I don't know about this. And you start to repress or shut it down. Keep an open mind about what this experience is going to be. The other thing would be find a mentor, whether it's myself or someone else that can help you really understand what it is that you're experiencing, what these energies are, and how you can either communicate with them or work with them. I think is really soothing and also very empowering to understand what's going on. And also go down the rabbit hole of books, take workshops, allow your mind to expand, learn something new.
Those were incredible tips. What would the next step be for somebody who wants to work with you and wants to work on their intuitive skills?
I offer one-on-one mentorship sessions for those individuals who are interested in further developing their intuitive gifts or mediumship. And I also offer readings as well if you're just curious about maybe starting to dip your toes into the spiritual experience.
How can we get in touch with you and continue following you and learn all of this stuff?
So you can find me on my website, which is divineskymystic.com. And there, if you sign up for my email list, you do get a free download of how to work with your spirit guides and also how to communicate with them via automatic writing. But I also can be found on Instagram. I'm very active over there, which is @divineskymystic. I post a lot about astrology, what's currently going on in the cosmos and how that affects you, as well as just the general energies of the collective and what we're seeing and also feeling.
Hannah, I am just in awe of this interview. Thank you so much for taking the time to explain and answer questions and to open us up to this incredible information.
Thank you, Allison. My pleasure. And I had a blast.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Manifestation Society show with Allison Carver. I am so grateful to have you here. Be sure to tune in every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and I will see you next time.